is that this weather holds. It is 75 degrees and sunny right now. Possible thunderstorms in about an hour, hour and a half. AJ is shaking his head at me right now.
Never say that, Jason. Never, ever mention the R word at a baseball game.
RBIs?
No. Rain.
Ronald Acuna Jr.?
I mentioned him a lot.
Here's the lineup for the Seattle Mariners. They are 25th in on-base percentage, 27th in OPS. J.P. Crawford, though, has been really good for them this year. He's in the one spot. Julio Rodriguez, we talked about. Jared Kelenic has cooled off a little bit, but he's been very productive so far this year.
Jared Kelenic has been their best hitter. And he's one of the best prospects in all of baseball. He's figured it out this year. It took him a couple years. And they're going to face Jesse Chavez from the Braves. And it's going to be a bullpen day, Jason. We get to see the entire Atlanta Braves bullpen probably today. But Chavez is a swing guy. The Braves absolutely love him. He's a cutter, sinker, changeup. A lot of cutters, both sides of the plate. He'll just mix it up. And if they get 3 innings out of Jesse Chavez tonight, Brian Snitker will be ecstatic.
That's what he's hoping for. That's what he's looking for. He's got a couple of multi-inning guys back there to use as well. This is a really good outfield defense. Michael Harris, the second, made a brilliant throw last night to cut down a runner at the plate. You have Riley, Arcia, Albies, and the Gold Glover Olsen over at first, and then Sean Murphy. You know about his catching prowess as well with his Gold Glove a couple of years ago in Oakland. Seattle Mariners 21-23, opening play 6 games back of the Rangers when today started. And the offense has been behind the pitching so far this year for Seattle, with 2 runs on the board last night in game number 1 of the series. And the first pitch swung through, strike 1. Jesse Chavez with the first pitch strike at 7-16. Toughest guy to get to swing and miss in this Mariners order is J.P. Crawford, and the first pitch was a strike to him. So 1-1 for Crawford. Seattle 20th in home runs in Major League Baseball, 24th in stolen bases. If you're facing a bullpen day as an offense, how do you prepare for that?
That's always the dilemma.
This to the right side, past a diving Ozzie Albies, and a base hit for Crawford to open the ball game.
The dilemma when you look up, it's almost like a spring training game, Jason. As J.P. Crawford gets a changeup here and just hits us right off the end of the bat, hooks it out front, just past the diving Ozzie Albies. But do you attack early? Because you can't really pitch count a bullpen day.
Yep.
As an offense, you say, oh man, we want to get the starter out, we want to get in the bullpen. Well, then it's all bullpen guys. So you just try to get a good pitch and put a good swing on it, because there's no real game plan to getting his pitch count up, because he's only going to be at most 3 innings.
And then it's kind of back to the drawing board after your first at bat, right? To the technology that all these teams have to look at who the next guy might be.
Yes, you don't know who's coming in next. You don't know if it's going to be a righty, it could be a lefty. You just don't know as the Mariners. And like I said, it's like a spring training game. You can't build at bats. You can't build, oh, he pitched me this way. My first at bat, now he's going to try something else the second at bat. Because next time you get an at bat, you're going to face somebody else. So it's a challenge.
1-2 for Ty France, who had his career-long 14-game hit streak broken yesterday with an 0-for-4 against Bryce Elder and the Braves. And that was a big outing for Brian Snitker, getting 7 innings to set up this bullpen day, especially because of all the injuries this starting rotation.
The rotation has been taxed, to say the least, by injuries, with Max Fried on the IL. Mike Soroka, the guy they've been counting on for the last couple years, has been banged up.
Yeah, he's down in AAA right now. Still, there was some thought that he might be a possibility for today. He's still got some work to do after 2 Achilles tears.
And Wright, don't forget about Wright, won 21 games last year, I think, for him. Over 20 games for him last year. He's on the IL. Brian Snitker's done a wonderful job again.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. That was a filthy breaking ball that looked like a strike to start.
Slower curveball here from Jesse Chavez. He's thrown a lot of cutters, and he's sped up Ty France, and then he throws this slow curveball, gets him way out in front, gets a swing and miss.
So one down for Julio Rodriguez, the 22-year-old star of these Mariners, who has not had the same second season as we saw in his Rookie of the Year season. Watching him on tape, what do you make of him currently compared to last year?
Well, right now he's just pressing. He's trying. He knows the pressure. He knows the expectations. And when we talked to Scott Service before the game, the Mariners manager, we talked about Julio, and the question for me was, you have a great first year, and then the offseason of your first year, you get endorsements, you sign a big contract, expectations. How do you handle them? And you see more guys than not have a little bit of a hard time managing those expectations and being the same guy. Everybody changes over time as you grow older. But just imagine being as young as Julio Rodriguez is, being the face of not only the Mariners, but for baseball for a lot of people.
Yep. Or a country. A
country, definitely the Northwest for baseball. How much pressure there is to perform. And that's a lot to throw on a young kid. He'll be fine.
Chavez comes back. It's 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Just a small example there. 3-1. Last year, 3-1. He probably would have got a fastball. He probably would have done damage right there. What did he get this year? 3-1 breaking ball. Out in front. It's respect.
Foul right side. You know, part of it, too, you're talking about the breaking ball number, but the fastballs, too. He's hit 110 points worse batting average wise against fastball, but his expected batting average on fastballs is pretty much equal. So there's a little fortune in there and luck built in for Rodriguez as well. And Scott Service has talked about this. Sometimes taking ball 4 early in a game can be a really good sign for Julio Rodriguez.
Well, he just took a really good pitch right there for ball 4, just missed. But that at bat is an example of what happens. He's probably seen a ton of breaking balls this year. Well, he was late on every fastball they threw him. He was late on that 3-2 pitch. And if it was a strike, he would have been rung up. But it was, luckily for him, it was a ball. And for the Mariners, he just looks like he's seen so many breaking balls. He's just looking for breaking balls.
Especially in counts when he might not have seen them last year,
exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And teams make adjustments. I'm sure it started last year. Teams said, oh, well, we're throwing in breaking balls. So what do you do as a hitter? You say, oh, well, I'm seeing breaking balls. I'm going to look for them. And then teams make the adjustment back. Well, he's not hitting the fastball. Let's attack him that way.
A 1 to Jared Kelenic, nearly clipped him inside. It's a ball and a strike on Kelenic, who has just 1 homer in his last 21 games. But as you said, he's been very productive for this team this year.
He's been their best hitter. And where would they be, the Mariners, without him? Kind of surprise year.
Good movement on that ball, winding inside. 1-2. For Jesse Chavez, this is his 85th start of his major league career. His first start of his major league career was back in 2012, and it was, not surprisingly, a bullpen day.
It's a jack of all trades, especially for the Braves.
Well, they need it, and they need some length. And there he goes, changeup for strike 3 to retire Kelenic.
Well, after all those balls coming into him, cutters, he goes with the changeup, and you see how open Kelenic gets and how out front he is. That's all set up from the pitches prior. Fastballs coming in, cutters coming in, breaking balls at his back foot. Then you start one in the middle, Kelenic's eyes light up, but it's a changeup. Change of speed gets you.
2 out via the strikeout. Here is Eugenio Suarez. And we have a violation, a pitch timer violation to start the at-bat.
Wouldn't be a baseball game if there wasn't a pitch clock violation.
I feel like we've seen more recently in the last week or so, although the number has declined as the year's gone on. So that's outside, and suddenly 1-0 becomes 2-0 after exactly 1 pitch. Fake a throw to first base, and off the check swing, he did go. It's 2-1. That was close.
It was, and the home plate umpire called it right away.
Two and two. What do you like here against Suarez? Breaking ball?
Well, breaking ball, he's always traditionally struggled against breaking balls, but this year he's really struggling on that pitch he just swung through, elevated fastballs. I wouldn't be surprised to hear him either throw a slow curveball or another elevated fastball.
Well, he went fastball.
He tried to elevate, he just didn't throw it high enough. Suarez this year, 143 on elevated fastballs. And traditionally, breaking balls out of the zone have given him problems. He strikes out a ton, but he also hits you 30 homers every year.
He reaches out and punches this ball in the air, but playable for Arcia. And that will do it. 7 swings and misses for Chavez in a scoreless first. At the top of the order, Olsen added his 12th last night. Sean Murphy in the 3 spot has more than any other catcher in Major League Baseball. So it starts in a daring way for the 26-year-old Logan Gilbert.
Logan Gilbert last year was incredible for the Mariners. He came up and did a lot of great things. This year's been a little bit different. Some numbers have changed, made some adjustments. You see a lot of four-seam fastballs, slider, curveball. The curveball's been his best pitch. He has to throw high fastballs to get swings, and then use the high fastball to set up his breaking balls.
How do you pitch Ronald Acuna Jr.?
Very carefully.
How carefully? Not that carefully. Left center field, down for a hit.
This is one of those elevated fastballs, but he doesn't throw it high enough. And there's not a fastball alive that can get by Ronald Acuna Jr. when he's ready for it. A little bit up, he strokes it into left center field to lead off the game with a single, and that's why not only Braves fans, Brian Snitker and everybody loves Acuna at the top of the order. It's instant excitement.
I wonder if your experience as a catcher in those times you were either here in Atlanta or elsewhere in your career more than a decade, I wonder if you saw when the first hitter was so dangerous that affect a pitcher.
100%.
0-1 pitch, cracked by Olsen in the air, left center field, and out of here.
Fastball up. Just doesn't get it there. Olsen, I don't know if Olsen thought he got it or Jason or not. He just kind of drops his head. This ball just kept going and going. Julio Rodriguez runs out of room, and it's 2-0 Braves.
Just like that, Atlanta, and that ball scorched on the ground off the glove of Caballero at second. Murphy is on at first, and those balls have been smoked.
They're not missing many barrels. First 3 hitters for the Braves. Another fastball. Logan Gilbert's going to have to start throwing something besides fastballs because the Braves are ready for it. You were talking about Ronald Acuna and what it means to have him at the top of the order. That's what the Mariners wanted in Julio Rodriguez. An instant igniter for their offense. Home runs, gets on base, worries the pitcher from pitch 1 that he could be 1-0 down from the first pitch of the game. And that's what Julio did for the Mariners last year.
Yeah, Scott Service mentioned how much he loves having Rodriguez in that one spot. This to first base. France spins it to second in the double clutch. Won't be able to get him a double play. Riley replaces Murphy at first.
Good throw here by France. Crawford just has a little bit of a double clutch. Riley hustling down the line, but if you notice, 2 breaking balls to Riley. Fastball hit, fastball homer, fastball hit. Oh boy, I better start mixing it up. So he goes right to a breaking ball, gets a weak ground ball.
Chant of Eddie for Eddie Rosario, who takes a strike. Former Minnesota Twin who's got a hit in 10 of his last 11 games. We were talking to Scott Service for the game. None of the Mariners pitchers have their own pitch comm unit like some pitchers do across baseball, but it's all the catchers with the call on this staff.
Expect nothing less with Scott Service being a former catcher.
Right.
He wants the catchers in charge. I like it.
You love a good pro catcher manager.
Absolutely. They make the best managers.
0-2 on Rosario. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You're not just joking either. You believe that to be true, right?
They're the smartest guys on the field. They're the only guy facing the other 8 players. They see everything. They're involved in everything.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That looked like a changeup.
Split. Logan Gilbert has found a split finger. He had a changeup last year. He's developed this split finger pitch, and its main purpose is to get lefties off of it. The grip, see the tumbling action, and Rosario is thinking, man, he hasn't done that to anybody else.
Yeah, how come I got that? He only throws it like 10% of the time right now, but the league is 143 against it so far, that new split change that you're talking about.
Just another weapon to add to a guy that was really good for the Mariners last year.
Ozzie Albies fouls it away. 1 ball, 1 strike. We have 2 outs now, and so by rule I can't ask you a very deep question or else the broadcaster folks are going to come after me. But I do want to ask you later on in the game about those meetings that catchers are in, because they have to learn a lot about the opposing team compared to the other players, right?
Absolutely. You have to know offensively, you have to know the pitchers because you have to hit, and defensively you have to know all the other hitters because you have to try to get them out. So you are involved, and you're involved in every play.
2-1 coming. Albies takes a strike. Two in on the home run for Olsen. 3 balls hit 102 miles an hour or harder already in this first inning by Atlanta. Three and 2. In the air left side and arching foul. Another good crowd here in Atlanta.
They love their Braves baseball here in Atlanta. Always had great crowds here. Even back in the Turner Field and Fulton County Stadium days, there were always nice crowds here.
It's a beautiful setting for baseball. Armed Forces Day across Major League Baseball this weekend at all the venues. 3 and 2. Runner goes again, and that is inside on Ozzie Albies. So 2 on, 2 out, and Marcell Ozuna will bat. Was that an A.J. Pierzynski bobblehead you signed as we were coming off the elevator?
It was. It was a Walking Dead zombie me.
Is that right?
Because they filmed The Walking Dead here.
Okay.
So they made a bobblehead of me.
A zombie you.
A zombie me with a bat as a weapon.
Wow. Were you in the meetings about that?
They just asked me if I would allow it.
First pitch, breaking ball outside to Ozuna, who just cleared that 10-year of service time threshold, and a great distinction.
It's a big deal for players. Very few players are able to get to that 10 years and maxes out your pension. And it's just a cool thing to say, hey, I got 10 years of service time. Not a lot of people make it, and when you do, usually do something special for it. As your teammates do something. I know his teammates did some stuff for him, but just it's a meaningful thing for a player.
He had a former president visit him that day. George W. Bush was in the clubhouse that day in Texas.
I didn't get quite that.
You didn't get a president?
No, I didn't get a presidential congratulations.
1 ball and 2 strikes for Ozuna. Riley at second, Albies at first. And this popped up, foul right side. Tough start to the year for Ozuna. He was 5 for his first 59, but he has turned it up since.
He has turned it up for real. He's been really good. He's been one of their better hitters. Power has come back. He still needs to get better at home. He struggled still at home.
And a wave and a miss, strike 3, breaking ball from Gilbert. He went curveball that time, but Matt Olson just demolished the first pitch he saw in this first inning. Deep to left center, Atlanta 2-0 lead. By Progressive Insurance, round out your protection with life, phone, and pet health insurance. Spectacular night for baseball here at Truist Park in Atlanta. And the first pitch from Jesse Chavez here in the second inning is a strike. 28th pitch, his 27 in the first inning was a season high, and as they piecemeal this together, Michael Tonkin is loosening already in the Braves bullpen.
And he was one of the early available options from Brian Snitker. We talked to him earlier because he can give him length. He hasn't pitched since last week, and he can give him multiple innings. They were obviously hoping Chavez wouldn't throw 25+ pitches in the first inning, and now here he is at 30, no outs into the second.
2-1 pitch, bloop towards short right center field, and a running grab for Harris starts the inning for Atlanta's defense. Well, Brian Snitker has been with this Braves organization for 4 decades plus, and for a while he was the AAA manager in Gwinnett. And quite often, when you're the AAA manager, you have bullpen days to deal with because the major league team needs a starter. So you lose your starter and it's all hands on deck.
He said every day sometimes felt like a bullpen day because you didn't know what you were going to get. He said every time they think they get a starter where they want them, they get called up, and he's like, oh, starting over with a bunch of new guys again.
And that ball hits Trammell, so Trammell will get first base.
Ow.
Didn't sound great.
It's a cutter in. Ow, off the front knee. I don't care what he says, that hurt.
That made a weird sound, the ball to the kneecap.
Ball's not supposed to hit you in the kneecap.
It's not. You don't care to do a reenactment in the booth, do you?
No, I don't. How about this? I'll throw a ball at your kneecap and let's see how it feels.
Great. I might run faster, honestly, by the time it's over, as Murphy takes strike 1. Trammell at first, 1 out, and darkening skies here in Atlanta. On the ground. Wow, Chavez, what a catch. Man, oh man. Yikes. Contortionist Jesse Chavez. First pitch, strike to Orlando Arcia, who in some short time this year is having his best offensive season so far as a major leaguer.
He is. He's been great for the Braves, other than missing the time with his injury. They went into spring training thinking, who's going to be our shortstop? Vaughn Grissom, Arcia, Shoemake. And Arcia won the job in spring training, and he has done nothing to think that he's giving it up anytime soon. He signed a contract extension.
Yep. Gave him the lead last night with an RBI.
RBI single, 370 feet off the right field wall, by the way.
You sound salty about it.
No, it was just funny because when we asked Snit about it. Brian Snitker said, "Were you mad?" Or he goes, "Or were you just happy he got a hit?" And he's like, "I was just happy he got a hit."
Yeah, you take it, right?
Of course, you would like for him to be on second, but
things happen. He is, Arcia, the best 2-strike hitter on this team as well. He's a .235 hitter with 2 strikes, which is a pretty big number. There, he swings through strike 3. Still time for your chance to win $10,000 for free on Fox Bet Super 6. All you need to do is download the free Super 6 app on your phone now and then enter your 6 baseball predictions in the MLB Super 6 Challenge for a chance to win big. Download now and play for free. One down for Michael Harris, the second. First pitch popped up. Second base side, and Caballero, who's taken over the job for Colton Wong, and 2 down.
Well, the Braves are showing they're going to be ultra aggressive against Gilbert. They've swung it first inning, 23 pitches, 13 swings. Arcia swung, struck out swinging. Harris right there, first pitch hacking. They're not waiting around for Logan Gilbert to get ahead of him. He throws the first pitch fastball. They are letting it rip, and this guy will do it.
Ronald Acuna Jr. spikes his bat down on a ball he hits toward the warning track in left center field. And eventually Rodriguez runs into Trammell to make the catch. That's power. He's angry about the warning track. Jesse Chavez, after an 8-pitch second inning, is back out for the third.
That second inning saved him for another inning, possibly, for the Braves. Only 8 pitches, kept his pitch count down. If they would have gone him into the 40s, he'd probably be out. But I think right now, Brian Snitker, Tonkin's warm, probably going hitter by hitter.
Maybe one base runner and that's it.
He's thinking every out I can steal from Chavez just saves bullets for the bullpen later down the road. So if he can get every guy out, is just a win.
1-1, close to the zone, but outside. 2 balls and a strike on Caballero, who came over in the Mike Leake deal back in 2019. Rookie season in Major League Baseball. We mentioned he's taken over for Colton Wong, and Scott Service kind of has left it up in the air. Wait and see. We'll see how Caballero does, but he's done so many good things for them, Service says, that he's earned the playing time.
He has. He's kind of won the job. Great bat to ball skills. Usually puts the ball in play. Plays solid defense at second base.
Edwin Moscoso comes out in front of home plate and talks to Caballero. Rarely now, with the 1 timeout per batter, do you see a timeout called when the pitcher's in the windup. So a long discussion here. So the timeout evidently was granted. What do you think the conversation was about?
I think he was just saying that was late. It's very late time for a timeout.
Now what?
Well, now Jesse Chavez tried to quick pitch him. Although, honestly, I was watching the clock, Caballero didn't look up by the 8 seconds. That probably should have been called strike 3.
I was going to say, I thought that might be what Moscoso was going to call there.
So it's already at 10. He hasn't looked up yet. 10, 9, just looks up at 9. So
3-2 is fouled back.
That was a lot going on for nothing happening.
Yeah, and you're only supposed to get the 1 timeout, right? But the umpire can call the timeout. That was sort of like a play on timeout, like an inadvertent whistle almost in basketball. And eventually strike 3. Chavez painting on the outside corner.
So what Chavez did on all that was he was ready, and here comes Snitker to get him out. Good cutter there to punch out Caballero. So 1 time through, Snit's seen enough, and in come the next guy for the bullpen.
Chavez out, Tonkin in when we come back. On on Fox. Rafael Devers and the Red Sox against the Diamondbacks, or the Reds against Dansby Swanson and the Cubs, or Cardinals Guardians. St. Louis trying to climb in the NL Central. 7 Eastern on Fox. Check for the game in your area. Jesse Chavez, 2 1/3, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts. Exactly what Brian Snitker wanted, basically.
One time through the order. Got him one time. Now it's on to the next piece.
Michael Tonkin, first pitch, a little bit inside. Ball 1 to J.P. Crawford.
Michael Tonkin, 2-pitch guy, fastball, slider. Fastball has been his pitch. You see that? 4 for 45 off of his fastball this year. The guy who's missed multiple years. He went a long time in between. He went from 2017 to 2023, not appearing in the major leagues.
He was in the Atlantic League with Long Island. He was in the Dominican Republic. He was in Japan for a couple of seasons. And finally made his way back to Major League Baseball. AAA for a couple years as well. And a cool story, 6 years in between Major League time.
And now he's a weapon for the Braves out of their bullpen.
Last time out, 50 pitches, but that was all the way back on Sunday 6 days ago.
So he's a guy that almost every team needs, a valuable guy, an innings eater guy. You can throw in and say, give me 3 innings. We need to save everybody else. And those guys are valuable at the big league level. People say, oh, it's the last guy on a staff or whatever. No, you need those guys. You need guys that can come in. Starter gets hurt. Starter gets burned early. Michael, we need you to give us 3 innings, 50 pitches. Can you do it? He's like, I'll do whatever you guys need. And these guys help win you championships a lot of times.
Especially considering, as Ty France steps in, especially considering that Major League Baseball limits the number of pitchers on your roster. Second base, and Albies gets it to Arcia for out number 2, but you can only have 13 guys in terms of a pitching staff, so it's not like you can just load up on arms and have a short bench anymore.
Exactly. Also, what's changed is you can only send guys up and down so many times. So a lot of these teams that say, oh, we'll just send them up and down, up and down, up and down, we can't anymore. So we need a long guy. We need a true long guy, and Tonkin is that for the Braves, and he's been great at it.
He's got 2 out here. Julio Rodriguez, the batter, who walked in the first on 6 pitches. And the first pitch here is a called strike, top of the zone. Rodriguez chases upstairs, the fastball 0-2. When you're not seeing as many fastballs in a game, you're more likely to jump on one out of the zone, right?
But he was late. He was late on the first one. He was late on that one. First pitch was a slider. I know it was high, but that's the one you want to hit. The high slider takes it because he's, oh, and then high fastball. And then he threw one there that was really just a non-competitive fastball, ball out of the zone, out of the hand. Now does he rush him again?
Yep.
And he's late again.
So would you go back there?
So it looks to me like Julio is just, he's in between. He's seen so many breaking balls. He's late on the fastball. And you want to tell him, just try to hit the fastball. Just be ready for the fastball. But no hitter wants to look foolish being so far out in front of a breaking ball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. That's exactly what you're talking about, right?
Exactly, right there. Great sequence.
Active duty veterans and their families for your service to our country. Go to MLBtogether.com to learn more about how you can help to serve those who serve us. Just a wonderful, riveting pregame ceremony here in Atlanta, featuring so many veterans. That ball scalded to left center field by Olsen. Once again, Rodriguez gets back there. Man, can he track him down.
First step is incredible. First step, quickness, and put his hands out. Look at Taylor Trammell like, easy. But that first step, perfect break, right to the spot. He actually almost overran that ball. He got to it so quickly. Olsen seen 2 pitches, hit 1 homer to left center, and almost had a double in the left center field gap.
2 baseballs just smoked by Olsen. Now here is Murphy. First pitch taken for a strike, and we've seen Gilbert at points go away from the first pitch fastball because of how aggressive this Atlanta team's been so far tonight.
Well, absolutely. They're swinging at everything. But what he's done to combat that is he's gone first pitch breaking ball a lot. Did it to Olson. Olson smoked the ball to left center. Went first pitch breaking ball there to Murphy. Now it's just been many, many more breaking balls. Normally, he's almost 50% fastballs and mixing in the other pitches, but now he's gone way heavy breaking ball.
0-2 chopped foul. He came inside, looked like one of those splitters again.
Well, that's the pitch now that he's found that's been effective. He's gotten a couple punch outs on splits, and he's throwing to righties, which is a complete deviation from any scouting report I guarantee you the Braves had on him.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you see, and some guys are doing it, right, but more right on right changeups, right on right splitters?
It's an effective pitch. Mark Burley used to throw left on left changeups and screw guys into the ground. But for years that was considered a dangerous pitch, because you think, oh, you throw a changeup inside. Well, no, it's a great pitch because guys see it early. They think fastball in, it's coming in, I got to get going, and then the speed difference gets the swing and miss.
Yeah, we've learned more and more over the years about deception by pitchers, right? I mean, that's a lot of the idea at this point in pitch design is deception.
Tunneling, making pitches look the same out of the hand in the same tunnel. Deception, movement, it's all quantifiable now. Instead of in the past, oh man, this guy's got a good changeup. Well, now we can put a number on why it's so good.
I've had a couple pitchers over the last year or so tell me that when they get so deep down the pitch design rabbit hole, though, sometimes they have to go back to the basics with their mechanics.
Yes. At some point you got to look and say, well, that's a good pitch. I need to just throw that.
8th pitch of the sequence, Gilbert to Murphy, and it's a swing and a miss. That is a lethal breaking ball, and the 4th strikeout for Gilbert.
That's a split.
Was it really?
That was a split. Another strikeout on a split. Just a filthy split finger. It even went down as a slider, but if you look at his grip on that pitch, that was a split.
Yeah, so the trajectory looked very sliderish to me, but we saw the grip there.
It was a yanked split. So it looked like a slider, but if you watch the grip, the movement portrayed it to be a split, but it was actually a split. Just yanked it.
That's one of those as a hitter, you got to just be like, what are we doing here?
No, as a hitter, you look at the picture and like, throw it right. Not supposed to go like that. I would have crushed it if it was right.
Throw it right. It's like playing poker against somebody who doesn't know the rules, right? You can't, there are no tells.
Exactly.
2 strikes on Riley. Foul of 3rd.
When I was with the Braves, Cole Hamels was pitching for the Phillies, and he threw me a slider that didn't break. And I flew out and I looked at him, and he just kind of shrugged and said, too bad. And I said, throw it right. If it breaks, I crush it. And we just started laughing because.
You both did?
Yeah.
That's awesome. 0-2. I figured when you said throw it right the first time you said it when we were just talking about that splitter, I figured you had said that to somebody.
More than one.
On a diamond.
More than once, yes. If you can master out there a backup slider, you'll get a lot of guys out.
0-2, hit pretty hard on the ground at 3rd, and Eugenio Suarez takes care of Riley. So 7 in a row retired by Gilbert as we go to the 4th. Sponsored by Jardiance. Happy anniversary, AJ.
Just couldn't let it go, could we? I know our fearless producer, Brad, he just couldn't let it go. Look at my boys, though. Look at B.A., Scotty Pods. Rich Hill is still pitching somehow.
He is. What do you get for the guy who has every fist?
I don't know.
I don't know. How about Rich Hill and Miguel Cabrera in the race to first base the other day?
Yeah, that was a not the quickest I've ever seen, but the pitcher won.
So when people see you on the street, is that the first conversation starter they go with, is the Michael Barrett thing? 0-1 to Kelnick.
Oh, wait, the ball's foul. Okay, good.
Left side, and this will be foul. We have a moment now. You can answer the question.
Honestly, what's amazing about it is most people, not most, a lot of people get it confused. They're
Really?
like, man, I loved when you punched that Cubs catcher.
Really?
And I'm like, I was there. And I was like, were you, though? Because I was there. I know I was there.
It's amazing.
But people think I get mad about it. I just laugh about it.
Yeah. You also had like 20 other, as that ball's into center field, a base hit for Kelnick, who's been a really good two-strike hitter. I mean, you've had like a couple dozen really iconic moments to play against the Angels in the postseason. I mean, there are a lot more moments that typify your career than just that.
Yes, but that's what people remember. Because it happened in Chicago,
Yeah.
in the crosstown, the year after we won. And some of the photos are incredible of the people in the stands behind the actual play.
Oh, just watching it?
Yes. The faces on the fans and the looks are of utter shock. But every year, trust me, it's brought up, it's reminded, and I laugh about it all the time.
Well, how could you not, right?
No, why get mad?
I mean, what?
It wasn't, I didn't do anything, so, and I mean, listen, I don't know what you want to call it. I don't, people say, oh, you got punched. I mean, it was like a push more.
Yeah.
And,
That is into left field. It's a base hit for Suarez, and now the Mariners suddenly have 2 on with nobody out in the 4th inning against Michael Tonkin.
But happy anniversary, Jason.
Yeah.
Gives everyone something to talk about. And now we can go back to your regularly scheduled baseball game.
We could, and we will.
You know that picture? You know those pictures made happier than anybody today?
Who's that?
Judy Boyd.
Really?
Yes. At Fox, that
Our
makes
coordinating producer.
That makes
for
her day.
Baseball. It does?
Yes.
Well, happy anniversary, Judy.
Yes. You're welcome, Judy.
2 on, nobody out for Hernandez, who's been swinging a very hot bat for Seattle. He's 10 for his last 24 as he takes a breaking ball strike. Tried to check it up, couldn't do it. 0-2. So back-to-back breaking balls to start Hernandez here.
I mentioned when Tonkin came in that people were struggling against his fastballs. 4 for 45. He gave up back-to-back hits on fastballs. So what does he do to Teoscar Hernandez? 2 sliders. 0-2. And he tries to get another one right there to get the punch out. But we mentioned it with Logan Gilbert on the other side. They were hitting his fastball. So what does he do? He goes to breaking balls. Well, Tonkin gives up 2 hits on fastballs, goes right to breaking balls.
See what he throws him here. 1-2. 2 on, nobody out for Seattle. On the ground to shortstop. Arcia juggles it, cannot corral it, and the bases are loaded for the Mariners. Hard hit baseball, could have been 2 because of that, but Arcia couldn't find it.
Another breaking ball. He smokes this ball. Arcia is trying to turn 2, and when he goes to set his feet and line up the throw, just pops out of his glove. I'm guessing they give that an error, right, Jason?
They did, yeah. It's E6. It was a hard hit baseball, 95 plus.
Yeah, but this is the big leagues. They expect you to make that play.
Can't even imagine what batting averages would be if you were the official scorer. Be like playing at the Oakland Coliseum every day. Foul territory, you know, it knocks off like 20 points off your batting average. Here's Trammell, bases loaded, and a check swing for Trammell starts him off with ball 1. We talked to Scott Service about possible pinch hit opportunities early in the game because of it being a bullpen day and not really knowing what platoon split you might have later. He said he's very willing, even as early as the 4th, to pinch hit if it comes up.
Well, the difference is it's a righty on the mound. If it was a lefty out there, he might think about A.J. Pollock here for Trammell. But because it's a righty, he's going to try to go with the platoon advantage that he has, right versus left.
2-0. Right field base hit. Seattle strikes here in the 4th inning. 4 straight have reached, and it is a 2-1 ball game.
Two 2-0. He has to come right at him. Fastball elevated. Trammell does a great job driving this ball to right field. Gets the Mariners on the board. The merry-go-round has started, Jason. Bases loaded. No runs. Now bases loaded, 1 run in, and they still have the base loaded with no outs. Just keep the line moving if you're a Mariner fan.
You have Tom Murphy next as Rick Kranitz, the pitching coach, comes out. Nobody up in that bullpen. Murphy, the catcher, is the least likely guy, just by numbers, by pure numbers, least likely guy to hit the ball on the ground in this Seattle lineup today. But he did ground into a double play that went through Chavez in the 2nd. First pitch attack, strike 1.
If you're Murphy, you're just looking for a ball in the air to the outfield, preferably not to Acuna in right field. Suarez not the fleetest of foot at 3rd.
Harris has a pretty good arm in center as well.
And here, if you're Tonkin, you're looking for a punch out. 0-2 as opposed to against Trammell where you're 2-0. How can I get a punch out, stealing out, and then get 1 pitch and get a double play and get out of here?
0-2. Check swing. Yes, he did, says the plate umpire Moscoso. You heard him. 1 gone. There's the strikeout.
There's the strikeout on a slider. Gets him out front. Easy call for Edwin Moscoso behind the plate. There's the first piece for Michael Tonkin. Now he wants a double play, ground ball, double play if possible.
Caballero, the batter. This is the spot where if, say, Colton Wong was swinging it better, you might think about going pinch hitter to get yourself the advantage here early, but he's just not.
Yeah, and it's also a little bit early for a younger guy like Caballero. You're kind of giving him the reins at second base, so you don't want to say, oh, it's the 4th inning. You don't want to.
Let him get set, says Moscoso. So he's telling Tonkin to let the batter get set.
So much like Chavez did, he's trying to almost quick pitch him. That was Colton Wong along with Mike Cameron, former Mariners great. Lives in the Atlanta area, helps them out with their outfield stuff.
Tremendous center fielder, Mike Cameron. 0-1. That misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You don't want to, with young guys, it's a real tightrope you walk, especially someone like Caballero who they think might be a part of their future. Don't want to take him out in the 4th inning and say, oh, he can't hit a righty.
Right. Right.
The base is loaded. Someone you're counting on down the road.
If they were truly platoon players, right? If it was, hey, one guy faces the righty, one guy faces the lefty, you might think about it early in a bullpen game. But I agree with you, not in this case at all with Caballero in his rookie year. Bases loaded, 1 out. He was the JUCO World Series MVP, Caballero was. He won the junior college championship at Chipola College down there in Florida. Suarez, Hernandez, Trammell, your base runners. And clicked foul.
Got to imagine he's going to try a slider in the dirt here. Try to get some chase. He's thrown some fastballs. He's kind of fouled them off. He's been late. But can he throw a slider that starts as a strike, ends up in the dirt for chase?
In the air to left field, and Rosario is back there to make the catch. Seattle ties the ball game. A sac fly for Caballero. And we are even at 2. Well, you mentioned.
Interesting pitch. Interesting pitch selection there by Tonkin. I thought he should have went pitch chase down in the dirt. Instead, he went fastball up. Caballero beats him for the sac fly. Just missed a home run in a grand slam.
Well, you mentioned Murphy wanting to drive the ball. Caballero did this. Third base side, foul territory, and it'll be a foul baseball.
Instead of him going for the chase, though, Jason, he went fastball up again. He had thrown him previous fastball. He'd been a little bit late. Third one in a row, though, he gets to. So why not take a chance? Hey, I'm ahead in the count. Throw a chase slider. Maybe get him to swing and miss. If not, maybe I've set up another fastball. It just changes the speed and the eye level.
No balls and a strike for Crawford. Right side, base hit for Crawford. Seattle takes the lead. Acuna with a bobble. Now he's up to throw, and a laser to third is not in time. So a little wobbly defense, and Seattle pays it off to take the lead here in the 4th.
Another fastball by Tonkin, ball up. J.P. Crawford smokes this ball, line drive into right. Past Albies playing second base. Trammell was going to stop there at second. As soon as Acuna boots it, I almost thought he was trying to bait him. And he almost did. If that throws on line, it's really close to third base.
Yeah, I wondered after the little juggle, and then he got up with the cannon he's got. But Seattle takes advantage. So 2 errors in the inning. And now the 8th batter of the 4th for Seattle, Ty France. On the ground at third, Austin Riley is up with it to throw out France. However, the Mariners pick up 3 runs, couple errors, 4 hits, and Seattle takes the lead. Its first lead of the day, 3-2 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Eddie Rosario leading off against Logan Gilbert. Here from Truist Park, where the Braves are in first place in the National League East, in part because they have 11 wins after trailing already this year. 11 of their 28 wins have been come from behind wins.
This offense doesn't stop. 1 through 9, they keep coming at you. Power throughout the entire lineup. Speed in a lot of spots. And they just grind at bats out you. And eventually they wear down pitchers. One mistake, boom. Braves take the lead.
Here's a scary thing. They are one of the bottom 3 teams in zone contact in Major League Baseball. It's 77%. So they're not making a lot of contact on pitches in the strike zone. If they do more damage in the zone later in the year, that can only help.
Yes. They got to get in the zone.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. That's a breaking ball in the strike zone. Was that the splitter again?
Another split. Logan Gilbert has found a new toy. Another split. He had already thrown one to Rosario previously in this at bat, and he punched him out on it his first at bat, and then he punches him out again.
So I wonder, as I watch that, what does a high splitter look like to a batter?
It comes out as a fastball, but it drops. The whole key to a good split, and that was another one to start off Albies, was that was a curveball, but what it looks like is a fastball, and the difference is you split your fingers, and it slows the ball down and it gives a different spin. But out of the hand, it looks like a fastball. So hitters gear up for a fastball, and it just drops.
2 strikes on Albies. On the ground, right side. France smothers it, pitches, and a nice catch by Gilbert for out number 2. Let's get a game break from Kevin Burkhardt in the studio. What'd you get him, Kevin? We should get you a cake.
You know what we got? We got Kevin slumming it back here in baseball after, doing the Super Bowl.
Doing the Super Bowl, yeah. What would you say to me if I said I bet you the Cardinals win the NL Central?
I wouldn't be surprised. Going into the year, they were the best team. If you stacked them up on paper, you'd say the Cardinals should run away with this division. They just got off to a horrible start.
Nolan Arenado's swinging it better. Nolan Gorman's having a marvelous season for St. Louis.
The pitching's been better, though. That's been the key. The pitching has been so much better than what it was. And they're still last place. They're only 5.5 out, but I don't think Pittsburgh's going to stay 24-21. Milwaukee's the one team that has a chance to hang around. The Cubs aren't going to. Most people wouldn't say the Cubs are going to stay where they are. So it's not like they're in the Rays division where the Rays are just running away from everybody, even though every team in the AL East is over 500.
It's amazing. 1-2. Clip foul left side. Yeah, the Rays won again today. You might have watched it over on FS1. They're 34-13.
They're pretty good. You know why I watched it? Because your statistician, Ed, was also double dipping with that game. And he was very worried that his game wouldn't get done for our game.
That sound you hear is Ed's head dropping down to his chin into his upper chest area in embarrassment. The best in the business. He can't just work once on a Saturday.
No. There's a lacrosse game. Guess what? Ed's your guy.
At 12:30 in the morning. He'll be working it. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Marcell Ozuna. Timeout called by Ozuna, giving us more of an opportunity to shower our statistician with a great deal of praise. 2-2 for Ozuna. It's foul of third again, so
he loves that split now. Logan Gilbert is throwing a lot of split fingers.
Well, as a catcher, right, when your guys got it on a certain day, you're going to call it.
Whatever pitch he has going, let's go with it.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. 6 strikeouts for Gilbert. We go to the 5th. If Mariners trying to break a 3-game losing streak that's pushed him 2 under 500. And a first pitch here is popped up by Julio Rodriguez to Souvenir Land. Rodriguez 7 stolen bases this year. He's still, even with an on-base percentage about 280, still has scored the most runs on this Seattle team. And Scott Service is just looking for a game with 3 or 4 really good at bats.
He's looking for small signs, baby steps, right? To me, baby steps would be, hey, let's try to hit a ball to right field. Let's take an at bat, back the ball up, and I'm going to hit a ground ball to the right side. Let's try that. Something like that instead of 2 sliders, 2 wild swings way out in front. Now you're 0-2. Now you throw me all kinds of pitches, and I'm in trouble.
He's down 0-2 here. And this is outside and low. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Nobody wants to give away an at bat, but at the same time, you can have productive at bats even without getting a hit. And one of those ways is, hey, back the ball up, get jammed. Still swing it a strike. But maybe it sneaks through. He's got almost the whole right side. As long as he doesn't hit it right to Matt Olson, it's a base hit to right field.
You're basically saying just do something different.
Yeah, try anything.
Yeah. 2-2. Very close. Murphy tried to help him. There's Jared Kelenic, who's on deck. He singled and scored to start that rally in the 4th. Rodriguez takes ball 4, a breaking ball on 3-2, and now for a game break. Here's Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin, thank you. Mets with that walk-off over Cleveland recently. You saw the Phillies breaking that 5-game losing streak today. As here is Jared Kelenic, who's 1 for 2. We were standing by the batting cage while Jared Kelenic was taking a round of BP, and it was the round of 3 pitches.
3 swings.
Yeah, three swings, and Jared Kelenic was in the batter's box for a few more than 3 swings, and at some point pretty quickly, as this is through the right side, a base hit. Rodriguez turns on the Jets on his way to third. Acuna's throw hits him in the back. There goes Kelenic to second base, and the Mariners get a fortunate bounce. Is Rodriguez okay is the question. Well, he's laughing. I mean, if you're playing dodgeball, it's the greatest play in human history.
Great piece of hitting by Kelenic. And Julio Rodriguez says, Acuna, I know you have a great arm. I'm going first to third right in your face. And he never hesitates, and then he stares at him and smiles. That's what 2 great players can do. Have fun, be competitive, and take one right in the back.
That doesn't feel good, right?
He doesn't care. Doesn't feel it right now. But another error by the Braves leads to, instead of first and third, ground ball double play, second and third, back in business for the Mariners.
Suarez in the air and foul, 2 strikes. And this is one of those moments for a Seattle team that has struggled offensively, that if you can push a couple across on a bullpen day, maybe you can have one of those breakout offensive nights.
Not only that, but this affects tomorrow's game also for the Mariners, because these are all guys from the Braves bullpen that might not be available tomorrow. Tonkin for sure is down for a few days. Chavez is probably down for a day or 2, and then depending on how quick you can get into the other guys, they might also be down.
We'll see how many they end up using in this ball game. 1-2. In the air, left field side. He drives the ball, and Rosario does make the catch. Rodriguez tags and scores, and the Mariners grab run number 4. Pretty good at bat from Suarez.
Great at bat. Did what he needed to do. Got a ball up, elevated it to the outfield. I thought Kelenic was going to tag up, possibly think about going to third because Rosario was going to his left. Kind of got stuck halfway. If you watched him, he was a little bit aggravated. He wasn't ready to go to third, but nice job by Suarez. And just another add-on run for the Mariners.
Joe Jimenez loosening in the Atlanta bullpen. Teoscar Hernandez, who walked up to Matthew Kaminsky, the Braves organist, playing the theme to Sesame Street for Teoscar. And he is wearing green. Gets the job done. 0-1. Right side. That's a base hit for Hernandez. Kelenic around third, and the throw is not in time. Seattle does add on a pair at least, and it's 5-2 Mariners.
Really nice piece of hitting by Hernandez. Gets a sinker up, just shoots it to right, takes what the defense has given him, hits it in a good spot. Because Acuna is going to his right, can't get completely around this. Makes a nice throw to make this even close at home plate. Best part of this throw, Jason, goes right through the cutoff man, does not allow Hernandez to go to second.
Braves go deeper in the bullpen. Jimenez coming in when we come back. Only. Stream every out-of-market game on your favorite supported devices. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Aaron Goldsmith, check. Brandon Gaudin, check. Jeff Francoeur played with him, check.
Dave Sims?
Dave Sims called Phil Humber's perfect game, so we're friends.
Nice. On a fateful day in Seattle.
Yes.
The Mariners are up 5-2, and you have to bring that up. Real nice. 2-0 for Trammell. And Jimenez misses outside. 3-0. Basically a two-pitch pitcher, Joe Jimenez.
Fastball, slider. Slider has been his pitch, but this year, last year they hit 182 off it. This year they're hitting 320 off his slider. So just a tale of two seasons with one pitch. And the thing with him is, man, in May, 5 earned runs in 6 innings pitched. It's been a rough month for him. I know he was down in the bullpen pregame, working on some stuff with the Braves staff. They need this guy. They acquired him to be a late inning guy.
In the air, right field side. Acuna Jr. will come in, but he will leave it for Albies to make the catch, and 2 down. Speaking of the bullpen, by the way, I was sitting down with Brian Snitker in the Braves dugout for our pregame chat, and we looked over on the TV monitor, and Brian said, where is AJ? And he looked, and you were in the bullpen, so Snit picked up the bullpen phone and called for you.
He did. And so I was sitting with Rick Kranitz, their pitching coach, watching Spencer Strider throw a bullpen, because I think we've discussed this, that I want to stand in when he throws a bullpen.
Yep. Runner goes, fouled away.
Because I just want to see what everyone talks about. And so they wouldn't let me stand in today, so but I was 2 feet behind him watching him throw. It was impressive. And as soon as the phone rang, I looked at Rick Kranitz and I said, that's Brian Snitker calling for me. And they're like, no way. So whoever picked up the phone was like, hello? And they're like, it's Snit. He said, get down in the dugout now.
The postscript to the story after the 0-1 pitch. I want to hear about Strider too, but Snit, after you were sort of milling around for 30 seconds and not making a beeline for the dugout, he was like, just like when I managed him.
So then when I finally did mosey to the dugout, Snit goes, what were you doing? I was like, well, I wanted to watch Strider throw. And he said, impressive. And I was like, very impressive.
Yeah, what'd you see?
Just the life on the fastball. That's what I wanted to see. It's incredible. He was working on a slider, working on location, but the life, that's what you hear about from guys. Oh, man, the four-seamer, the life. It's amazing how it stays true. And so then I asked him, and I said, hey, when I have a game with you guys.
That's strike 3, and that'll do it for the inning. That'll be a tease for the bottom of the 5th.
Yes.
Brian Snitker's response after the break. Five unanswered for Seattle. We are in the bottom of the 5th here in Atlanta. Great night for baseball. The rain has stayed away, and a first pitch called a strike to Arcia. So you were saying as we went to break, next time you're here.
Brian Snitker gave me the okay to stand in and as a hitter on Spencer Strider, and I asked Spencer and he said yes, and then Brian Snitker proceeded to tell Spencer to make sure one gets away and hits me, and I was okay with it.
Second base, little side spin, and Caballero handles it. I love that you can tell that that's a person that you played for. If it's a manager you didn't play for, it's unlikely he says that, right?
But to hit me? Yeah. Snit, I was there when Snit took over for the Braves in 2016 for Freddie Gonzalez. And didn't get much time with Snit, got only half that year or so, but had heard stories about him from many people in the organization, and he's lived up to all of that as the manager of the Braves.
Manager of the year a couple times. And as the story goes, it was Hank Aaron that gave him a job originally coaching for the Braves. His first job in the Atlanta organization was because of Henry Aaron. Two strikes on Harris, who popped out back in the second. 11 in a row retired by Logan Gilbert, AJ.
He has done a nice job since the first 3 hitters of the game, where he attacked them with fastballs. He has mixed it up, and he has kept these Braves hitters completely off balance. He's found a new toy in a split finger. He's gotten a bunch of swings and misses on that. He's found a slider that's been very effective for him.
back of home and to the left, and no play for Murphy.
I've come to the conclusion, Jason, you're just trying to get me in trouble.
What do you mean?
Well, you guys show the fight video, get texts about that. Why would they
Not
show
my call.
that? And then you bring up the Snicker story, and then I get text from, well, please tell me that's not true. Well, yes, it was true.
On the ground, second base, Caballero, 2 down. What's the problem with that?
Nothing.
Did I get you in trouble?
No. Nothing I can't handle.
It's your entire career.
I know. Nothing I can't handle, Jason.
2 down for Ronald Acuna Jr. Who Spencer Strider called the best player he's ever seen the other day.
Well, if you watch him this year, there's been a lot of problems with the home plate umpire Edwin Moscoso and the pitch clock and timeouts, and Acuna's, I don't know what they're saying, but he kind of gave the look like you got to be kidding me. But yes, right now Ronald Acuna Jr. is the best player going in baseball.
You know, on social media, some folks will say, well, what about the guy who pitches and hits for the Angels?
True. He's in the American League. National League.
In the National League.
In the National League, excuse me.
I just didn't want you to get caught up in that spider web, because that is not a great place to be on the internet. Discussing somebody as the best player in baseball other than Ohtani.
True.
But I'm here to get you in trouble, so I shouldn't have done that. 1-1.
Like I said, nothing I can't handle.
2 balls and a strike.
Maybe I should let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
Most exciting player in baseball.
Oh, interesting.
Is Acuna.
Okay.
Now the best player is Shohei because he pitches, hits, does everything. But the most exciting player, if you want to see something happen, is Ronald Acuna Jr. Well, we've seen tonight. We've seen him lead off the game with a hit, score a run. Made some great throws from right field. Some have been great. One guy hit another guy in the back. Right, made a great throw to home through the cutoff man. Didn't allow the runner to go to second. Even his takes like that are fun to watch.
I was just going to say the same thing. He just kind of skated away. Gilbert wants a new baseball. With a splitter, would you rather have it scuffed a little bit? Or no?
Not if you haven't worked on using it, because you don't know which way it's going to go.
I see. 3-2 coming. Oh, he took it for strike 3. Slider. Good night. Braves here in the 6th inning. He's AJ Pierzynski. I'm Jason Benetti. We thank you for joining us for Atlanta and Seattle in game number 2 of a 3-game series. Here is Caballero, the Panama-born second baseman, who's really impressed Scott Service with just some little things. His defense has been really good so far, and he has taken over the second base job for Colton Wong. That's the slider from Joe Jimenez.
That was a nasty slider. That's the slider he's been looking for.
Oh, 2. He went around. That's strike 3. And there's one away. Back to back, just filthy pitches.
Back to back, just filthy sliders. Got a check swing on the one before, and he tries to check his swing. He's so far out in front. Starts as a strike, ends up as a ball.
1 down for Crawford. You know, some guys, when they have an on-base streak, it takes them a little while, or they have, you know, 1 walk and they go over. J.P. Crawford's on-base streak is now 16 games, and he's 2 for 2 with a walk. How important has he been to this team so far?
When we talked to Scott Service, you asked him, Jason, who's the one guy people don't talk about enough? And he said J.P. Crawford. His instincts are off the charts, and what he's done since moving to the leadoff spot has helped solidify and calm down the lineup. You see tonight what he's done, 2 for 2. Walk, kind of ignited him a couple times. Defense has been strong up the middle.
28 years old still, Crawford, as that's inside on him from Jimenez. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Gosh, 28 used to be right when you're coming into your prime. Now they look at it almost, oh, he's over the hill now. Right. 28.
Right side and vacuumed up by Albies. 2 down here in the 6th. Tomorrow, USFL action continues on FS1 and Fox. First at noon Eastern, the New Orleans Breakers take on the Philadelphia Stars on FS1. Then at 4, the New Jersey Generals battle the Houston Gamblers on Fox. New Orleans coming off its first loss of the year last week.
You're calling that game, are you not, Jason?
Yes, indeed. We try to drive viewers to the game, AJ. We're looking for more clicks. Ball 1 to tie France.
What can you tell me about the Breakers?
I can tell you that their quarterback, when we chatted with him the other day, was so frustrated with their offensive performance last week that he said he lost sleep 2 nights this week.
Who is their quarterback?
McLeod Bethel Thompson, who won a couple of Grey Cups in the CFL. 2 balls and a strike. I didn't see you writing down notes, AJ. You just remember all that?
Sure.
2-1 for France. I like having football in off times. I like spring football. Give me more of it.
You're getting more of it starting tomorrow.
That's true. Directly into your living room. 3-1. He can't call time. And now the catcher Murphy actually saves him. You can't have a disengagement from the slab with nobody on. So if you disengage, the pitch timer still runs. And had Murphy not gone out there, it would have been ball 4.
That counts as a mound visit, though.
It does. But I think you'd rather have that, right?
Yes. But interesting he couldn't step off. I don't know if he couldn't see the sign or he couldn't hear the pitch comm.
3-1. In the air, right field and foul. And typically when the timer is that far down, they're not going to give you a timeout for a pitch comm malfunction. Typically.
We've seen a lot of interesting timeouts called already.
We've had paperwork at the plate. I feel like some red tape. 3-2 is there right on the corner. He just dotted him with a meteor of a fastball. 1-2-3 inning for Jimenez. Trying to come back yet again, and Matt Olson will start it off in inning number 6, and a tall strike to Olson from Logan Gilbert. First 3 batters got hits against Gilbert, none since.
It's been quite the turnaround for Logan Gilbert, mixing his pitches up better, mixing his split fingers we've talked about. Just better location. You got to get it. A lot of times you got to get good pitchers early. Braves did that. He settled down nicely and has given them a nice start and a nice lead.
Called a strike. A little bit more give than we've seen at the plate for Moscoso. One, 2. So you mentioned the splitter and how quickly he realized that was going to be a weapon for him. How soon, as a catcher, can you figure out that a secondary pitch is that good on a given day?
Well, there was another one that was that good. A lot of times you used to say as a catcher, watch the bottom just fall out of this. Matt Olson way out in front. I promise you, in the Braves scouting report before this game, they're like, oh, he throws a splitter, but he hardly ever throws it. Don't really look for it. I don't know the exact number of how many splits he's thrown tonight, but it's double digits for sure. And you know, as a catcher, he throws the first one, you're like, oh, okay, that one's pretty good tonight. Throw another one that's good, and then you just gain confidence. He gains confidence in it. Next thing you know, you're throwing it all the time.
As you were saying that, I just looked on StatCast. He's thrown 21.
I guarantee you that's more than he's thrown in the start ever. I don't know that, but 21 has got to be the most he's ever thrown.
Yeah, for the year, it's basically 1 out of every 10 pitches. A 1 breaking ball just missed with the curve. Right-hander out of Stetson, which has provided Corey Kluber, Jacob deGrom. School down in Florida, the Hatters. One of the best nicknames in college sports.
In DeLand, Florida.
DeLand.
Home of Chipper Jones was at the ballpark tonight.
Yeah, downstairs, walking around in the dugout before the game. Good to see Chipper. Jam shot foul, third base side. Suarez went for the one-timer in soccer. A through ball, would you call it?
Yes.
Big soccer guy.
I am actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you thought you meant that as you didn't think I was going to say yes.
I think you watch everything, honestly.
I do like soccer.
1-2 for Murphy. And he just got a piece. It's strike 3. And strikeout number 9 for Gilbert. Time for a game break. Kevin Burkhardt, hello. Kevin, thank you very much. This one sprayed to right field, and finally a hit for Atlanta for the first time since the first inning. It's Austin Riley.
Nice piece of hitting by Austin Riley. Shooting the ball to right, not trying to do too much.
That broke 15 straight back to the bench for Logan Gilbert. And there is a first pitch curveball.
Well, he threw a first pitch fastball to Riley. He got the hit. We've mentioned how he's become successful. It's been by mixing it up. So we do first pitch breaking ball to Murphy, gets a strikeout. First pitch fastball to Riley, base hit. First pitch breaking ball to Rosario, swing and miss.
0-1 pitch hit well in the ear to left, but not well enough. Trammell is underneath to make the catch and retire the side. Seattle still by 3. Text line to increase mental health awareness and access to support. For free 24/7 and confidential support in English and Spanish, text MLB to 741-741. A tremendous initiative by Major League Baseball as we go to the 7th inning. And Kirby Yates on his 5th team on the mound for Atlanta.
Kirby Yates is really fastball split change. That was the first pitch right there. That split change has been absolutely incredible for him. 120 average, almost 37% whiff rate on it. The Braves trying to find another weapon. They brought in Jimenez, they brought in Kirby Yates. They already have Iglesias at the back end of their bullpen. They have AJ Minter. They have some dudes. They're just, you can never have enough pitching and enough bullpen guys.
They just got Lucas Litke back from the injured list the other day. They lose Dylan Lee to the injured list. But this is a bullpen that they're going to have to manage because of the tax on the starting rotation with a couple of gaps because of the injury. You got a bullpen day today, and we'll see how they deal with it moving forward. I asked Brian Snitker if there's a possibility that it might be a young guy for a couple starts. They go back down to AAA, pick another guy from the minors. They fill a couple of starts. He said that's not out of the question.
Well, when's Mike Soroka coming?
I guess they want to see a little bit more off the 2 Achilles injuries.
He was pretty good a few years back for him.
He was outstanding. That one is away in ball 4, and it's a 3rd walk tonight for Julio Rodriguez. And now Jared Kelenic will come up. And Kevin Burkhardt just mentioned J.D. Martinez. Our own Ken Rosenthal had a fantastic story a couple of months ago about Kelenic and his offseason program. He worked with Craig Wallenbrock, the guy who was the hitting guru for J.D. Martinez, helped revive his career. And Jared Kelenic felt like very much so he unlocked something this offseason. And he is a tireless worker. You can see that when you watch him close up.
Absolutely. And I know Craig Wallenbach. He was around when I was playing. One of the minor league guys, hitting guys for the Braves, was our hitting coach in Chicago, Greg Walker. He had Craig come out to the White Sox and work with some of us. And Tim Laker and some of his other guys that he's worked with have become hitting coaches throughout organizations. And he's real big inside to inside on the weight. So the inside of your knees, keep the weight inside. Really using your top hand like a hammer to get flat with the ball.
There goes Rodriguez. Pretty good pitch to throw on, but he is a blur into second base.
And Craig knows his stuff. And he's one of those gurus. As we watch Julio Rodriguez get a huge jump off Kirby Yates, picks an off-speed pitch to run on, makes it very easily. Sean Murphy, one of the best throwing catchers, no chance.
Rodriguez feeling good with 3 walks. We were talking about Kelenic in the batting cage. He took a couple extra swings, and guys around the cage started yelling, 3 this round. 3, not 5, 3. But he was going to get his licks in. And you can see how much he cares about hitting specifically.
Yes, and when we talked to Scott Service, he said this is a guy that used to go 0 for 1 and come in and just be so mad, and he's calmed it down, which is also a maturity thing. I think as baseball people in general, we expect guys to come up, and this guy was a huge prospect, gets traded, but we expect people to just come up and, oh man, look at him, he's got it figured out. It takes guys some years sometimes to figure it out.
And it's even tougher to sustain it nowadays. Up the middle, they had him played perfectly. It's Arcia behind the bag to throw him out. Rodriguez to third.
Productive at bat. Oh yes, he didn't drive in Rodriguez from second, but you know what he did, Jason?
What's that?
He hit the ball to the right side behind Julio Rodriguez, moved him to third. Guess what? Now he gives his buddy Suarez a chance to drive in Julio without having to get a hit. Brings the infield in, ups his chances to get a hit. Team at bat, productive out.
He took his big rip on 3-0, and then 3-1. He gets the ground out, moves the guy over.
And that doesn't go in any box score, any stat sheet, but that's a great at bat.
In the air to center, it'll drive home at least 1 and maybe 2. It is out of here. First pitch attack for Suarez.
Just crushed. Gets a fastball down. He's ready to go on the first pitch. Infield's in. He's looking for a ball he can elevate. And Suarez just tags this ball to center field.
He's a former All-Star in Cincinnati. He is in the lineup in large part to do that. And there goes the pitchfork, the trident. Everybody's got to celebrate.
Pitchfork. I love him. Pitchfork, though?
That's a, it's a trident.
It is a trident. I love the celebrations.
I think every team has one at this point. He's just going to take it home with him.
He's got 3 RBIs. Why not?
Do you have a favorite home run celebration across Major League Baseball?
The one they have in Baltimore with the homer hose, and then now at Camden Yards they have the bird wash, where every time they hit like a double they spray all the fans.
That's right.
Tough to beat that one.
That was evidently a player idea too. A couple guys for the Orioles went to the marketing people or whoever and said we should do this, and they listened.
The trident's pretty solid for the Mariners too.
It's outstanding.
Aquaman with the trident,
yeah.
And the Mariners.
The Kings of the Sea. 3-1. That misses, ball 4, and Hernandez takes a walk, his 7th of the year, with 1 out here in the 7th. Trammell will bat, and yeah, I don't know if this carries over to tomorrow, AJ, but this is the kind of day the Mariners have needed for a while now offensively. Don't you think?
I do. I think that not only does it carry over for them offensively, but it also carries over for the Braves bullpen, like we talked about earlier. Is that? Oh wait, the camera's over here.
It is.
Sorry.
Yeah, I would look at the
yes.
thing there.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Fix my tie.
It's great to see you. Would you like to talk to the camera this time?
Yes.
They take the shot again.
Hello, camera.
Anything you'd like to say about the Mariners offense?
Yes, this is a great night. They've hit home runs. They've gotten hits. Julio Rodriguez stole some bases. But the thing is this carries over. Confidence, yes, but also the Braves bullpen is going to be beat up for tomorrow. I know the Braves are like, oh, we can cover 9 innings, but if it goes perfectly.
Yeah.
Right. Chavez made it one time through. Tonkin didn't do his job. Jimenez struggled a little bit. Now Yates has come in and given a couple of. In talking to people in baseball, sometimes these games, if they go well, you're like, oh, he stole one. But if they don't go well, they feel like almost a giveaway game.
Yeah, and it is trouble for the next couple days because the Braves don't have an off day Monday either. They're just starting another series. They go out to the West Coast.
Yes, and they have a tough stretch right now. You look at their schedule this week and then even going forward, they're in the middle of it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we just had them against Baltimore. They're playing 16 in a row against the American League and some competitors in the AL, including a Seattle team you figure will be involved at the end of the year. I'm just really glad that when you finally turned to the camera, there was no BLT burger on your shirt, because the thing you were eating that you posted on social media was a ridiculous affair.
The thing you ate and wouldn't give me a bite of?
That's right. Yeah, that's how the story goes. Don't believe everything you read on social media.
Highly recommend the Georgia BLT here at Truist Park.
2-2 is called, strike 3. Murphy, a nice smooth catch for out number 2.
Good pitch, just a bit outside. Nice job by Murphy to steal it. Get strike 3. Trammell's thinking, why me? Why you got to call that on me?
You know what's amazing about traveling with AJ Pierzynski is that food just appears in the booth. One of those just got delivered again. I mean, how much of it's left?
Well, look, BLT with bologna and pimento cheese. How can you go wrong?
This through the right side is a base hit for Seattle. Murphy's first hit of the night. Will you show it to us, please?
So Jason had this ordered earlier. It's the Georgia BLT, and he ate half of it. This is only half of it, and he finally allowed me to touch it.
Just moments ago.
Just when you handed it to me.
Yeah, for the first time ever.
So I can't wait to dig into this, because what could go wrong? BLT, bologna, and pimento cheese.
It's heavy, man.
Oh, it's heavy. It was good though when you ate it.
It was very good when I had all of it, and you never touched it. Yes, they do have great food here in Atlanta, and we appreciate the hospitality. First pitch here, a strike to Caballero. The Mariners had 8 hitters come up in the 4th, 6 in the 5th. This is the 7th batter in the 7th inning. Now Litke getting loose in the Atlanta bullpen. And honestly, we're talking about it from the Braves perspective, but if you're the Mariners, this is exactly how you'd like a bullpen game to go when you're facing it. A couple multi-run innings.
Absolutely, because it throws everything off.
Here's Litke just off the injured list. A little crossfire there from Kirby Yates. 2-1.
So we were talking about Chavez is down tomorrow. Okay, Tonkin's down, possibly with a chance to be sent down because he threw so many pitches. They're going to need somebody to cover in case something goes wrong tomorrow. Yates is 30 in. He's probably down tomorrow. Jimenez threw, how many did Jimenez throw? He threw
1 2/3.
23.
Yep.
So he's probably available tomorrow. But if the starter for Atlanta doesn't go deep tomorrow, then they're thinking, well, we don't have a long guy.
No, they need Schuster to provide some length tomorrow, as it's 3-2 on Caballero. But you're right. I mean, it does affect people's livelihoods too, because you're probably gonna have to pull somebody up from Lawrenceville, AAA Gwinnett.
Yes, and someone has to go down. So you lose that guy, you feel bad. There's always the thing when you had a long guy come in.
That's strike 3, and the inning's over. Caballero thought he had taken ball 4. Instead, the inning's over, and it's stretch time. Sponsored by Geico. See how easy it is to bundle all your insurance needs. From Fulton County Stadium, Turner Field, Truist Park. That photo is very true to form because the gentleman who just sang God Bless America was standing out on that red disc right in front of the pitcher's mound while we were at the break. Our SeatGeek Stadium profile, it opened in 2017, already has seen a World Series champion come through here. They have a kid zone that they installed that had a zip line out there in the outfield. Great food, tremendous fan base, and the fireworks for the strikeouts are a nice touch as well.
Don't forget the Battery. The whole area is Braves country, as they like to call it here in Atlanta. Restaurants, bars, shopping, hotels, just condos, just businesses, just to keep people in this area. And what a great job the Braves organization did when they built this. And the fans are coming. They're coming out here because it's a great place to watch a game. It's fun. People enjoy it. Walk around at like 10:30 this morning, there's people out playing catch.
Yeah, they're probably sitting out on that party deck. They have 2 party decks out there. As you're taking a look at Matt Brash, who has just nasty stuff coming out of that bullpen. It's been a really good bullpen for Seattle this year, generally.
It has. They've been the best bullpen statistically in baseball. And Brash is another guy they're hoping they can give him some length, maybe give him 2 innings here. Get through, depending on what happens, but their bullpen has been really good.
So was Logan Gilbert today after a rough
Logan
start.
Gilbert, after the first 3 hitters, was incredible. 3 for 3 with no outs in the top of the first, 2 runs already in, and then he goes 6 with only 1 more hit. 1 walk, 9 punch outs. He found a split finger. He started mixing it up, and he confused the Braves.
The great Sarah Langs from MLB.com during the break sent me a note saying this was the most splitters used by Gilbert in any outing, and he's only been near 20. This is the 2nd time he's been anywhere close to 20. So you're right, new toy for Gilbert.
That's bad news for the rest of the league. Because his fastball's so good, his slider's been really good. And guess what? Now he's going to mix in a splitter. That's trouble.
And now I wonder what the look is for these Braves hitters with Brash, who's got the fastball at 98, 99, and a high spin rate curveball.
Well, his slider's his pitch. He throws 98, 99. But yeah, slider's been the pitch. When he needs to get an out, he goes to a slider. His curveball has been good, but 50% slider, which tells you how much he enjoys it. And hitters are hitting under 200 off that pitch.
8 for 44 this year against the slider. And by the way, the fastball averages about 98.
It's tough. Why are guys don't want to throw 98? They want to fool you with the slider, Jason.
You know, both will work, right? They both play. That was way inside. 3-2.
This is the slider. He just yanks it. Almost gets Albies in the back leg.
Three-two coming. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Fastball tailing away there. And 1 down.
That pitch right there, fastball away off the plate, was 100% set up by the pitch before that almost hit him. Watch him bail. See, his front hip is gone. He has no chance. He's gone because of the pitch before that almost hit him. He's thinking, man, he almost hit me the pitch before. No way. And then he throws that fastball away.
So is it just fortunate that the slider was that far inside? Did he mean to throw it?
No, he did not. He did not. He was going for a punchy with that pitch.
But you play with what you've thrown, right? So once you've thrown it, it can be a setup.
Watch reactions. And that next swing by Ozzie Albies tells you, man, he's throwing me in. And we mentioned Spencer Strider talking earlier when I was watching him throw. He actually talked to me about being a left-handed hitter. What do lefties think when they see a fastball in? And I was relaying, and I was speaking to him about when I hit left-handed. So I said, if you can throw a fastball in, a pitch into a lefty or anybody, it helps you with pitches away. And he said, why? I said, because if a guy could throw me in, that makes me look in and out. I can't cover both, especially with a guy throwing 100 like Spencer Strider does. So I have to be aware of the ball in and a ball away. Now, if I faced a guy that was just throwing me away, I could just dive out there and not worry about anything coming into me. Well, you saw it with Ozzie Albies right there. He threw a slider that almost hit him. Oh, screamed, scared. Oh, no, it almost hit me.
Right.
Next pitch, fastball way off the plate. He was bailing.
Right side, that's a base hit for Marcell Ozuna. How many times do you have to throw a pitch like that to get somebody's attention?
Once.
Just one?
Once. Right there. Let's take Ozuna as a bat, right?
Yep.
All breaking balls away. Every pitch was a breaking ball away, including the pitch he hit. So he saw 5 pitches, all breaking balls away. Big league hitter makes an adjustment, boom. Now if he rushes a fastball 98 into him, gets the same reaction Ozzie Albies had, right? Takes him off that. But he threw him 5 pitches, the same spot, similar breaks. And the big league hitter makes an adjustment, shoots him to right, takes a single.
But obviously they do it for a reason, right? So I wonder, after the 0-1 here, why would you throw the ball in a couple times in a row in the same spot like they did?
Well, the pitch Ozuna hit, listen, you're not meaning to throw it there. It wasn't a terrible pitch. He's wanting to throw it for a ball and get him to chase.
Yeah.
We mentioned the success that Brash has had with his slider. That's the one he wanted to throw, right?
Man.
That just horizontally goes away. Arcia runs out of bat.
You remember Jeff Nelson?
Absolutely.
That's the slider I think of, like Frisbee slider, but this thing is like a demon. Swing and a miss once again. Strike 3, 2 punch outs for Brash, and he threw 2 different versions of it basically there, didn't he?
Well, he has one, it seems like, that goes more up to down vertical, and that one was more side to side horizontal. That's kind of become the new sweeper, they like to call it. The new in vogue term is, he's throwing a sweeper, not a slider, because it goes more horizontal.
Harris down the left field line toward the corner, and this ball is foul. Waving off, it's foul. This is not a live ball. Edwin Jimenez with the call down the third base line. Very demonstrative, had it right away.
Oof. You're Michael Harris, you're thinking, I'm hitting 179. That ball is an inch to the right, it's a double. Instead, if you're hitting 279, that ball's fair. Hitting 179 goes foul by an inch.
It's a cruel game, isn't it?
It's why it's the hardest thing to do in the world. Hit a baseball.
Especially now, with pitching labs. Yikes. It was so close down the left field line that the official box score has it as a double.
And now he's back hitting again.
Yeah, it could be a very valuable at bat here. This one bounces away from Murphy, and it gets Ozuna to second base.
Glitch in the matrix, Jason.
That'll happen. What's next?
Knuckle curve. Murphy tries to do everything in his power. As a catcher, you're expecting the ball to come down and into a lefty. When it stays out there, you saw Murphy try to turn his left shoulder to steer the ball back to home plate. Took some big hop, wild pitch.
How much of it is just instinct at that point?
Almost all of it. You're just trying to knock the ball down in front of you.
Two and one for Harris. Ozuna at second. 2 balls, 2 strikes off the dugout. It's the first time the Braves have had a runner in scoring position since the first inning. It's away. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
It's a big at bat here. You do not want to walk Harris, get Acuna up there. I know it's 7-2, but you don't want to give the Braves any hope.
Especially with the way they've come back in games this year. Fastball again here, you think?
I'm too busy watching the guy dance and just caught the foul ball.
Lively crowd. Three-two. Another foul. Based on that swing, where are you going?
I'm thinking a slider coming into him. See how he reached out across the plate to get that ball? That shows you he's leaning out over the plate. If you could throw a slider coming into him, you'd probably get him to swing and miss.
Is he willing to throw a 3-2 slider to the 9-hitter?
If you think you can get him out, if you think you can throw it for a strike where he'll get a swing.
8th pitch of the sequence. It is for strike 3. He was pretty sure of it, AJ.
Yes, he was. Good pitch.
Atlanta uses pitcher number 5 today, Lucas Litke, just off the injured list.
A lot of breaking balls from Lucas. Cutter, sliders, curve.
And he will go lefty-lefty with Crawford to start the 8th inning. Last couple years with the Yankees, Litke was outstanding out of their bullpen. Third base side, Riley in foul territory over by the tarp, and Riley can't make the catch.
That was one of those balls I think he catches if there's not the net. I think he would get to this ball if there's not the net to protect the fans. Just runs out of room. He's probably going to catch this ball without the net. Now he might end up in the people's lap in the front row, but he probably makes a catch. Can he open the door and reach around the net?
It would be an amazing play. You should be able to get the out if you do that, but I don't think it's legal. But you should.
If you could run up, open the door, run up the stairs and catch it, that'd be pretty awesome.
I mean, it'd be on every highlight reel ever. Breaking ball in the dirt from Litke. 2.67 ERA last year with the Yankees, 2.74 the year before. Two balls, 2 strikes for Crawford, who's been on 3 times, and Litke strikes him out. Tomorrow on FS1, there's $1 million on the line. NASCAR's best take on the historic track at North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race. It begins at 5 Eastern, the All-Star Open, then engines fire at 8. Don't miss the heart-pumping action Sunday on FS1. Have you ever gotten to drive a NASCAR?
I have not.
A stock car?
I have not.
It seems like it'd be great fun, and we should probably make that happen one day.
Yes. I'm in. I'll do it.
All right.
I'll ride along.
Set it up.
I'm the ride-alonger.
It's 0-1 is in there, a breaking ball to France. As a guy who walks around with your initials at all times, right? AJ Pierzynski. I think you'll appreciate that Lucas Litke's middle name is Lester. So his monogram is just 3 L's. Swing and a miss. And that's strike 3.
That's not the best thing for a pitcher.
That's a really good point. It's like David Risky. Remember he used to pitch? Closed for a little while.
Bob Walk.
Bob Walk.
Grant Balfour.
You kind of got to lean into it, right? Just get everything with 3 L's on the backpack, the luggage.
And then try to get W's instead of L's.
Try to get W's. Try to flip it. So what do you make of Rodriguez's day at the plate? 3 walks.
He's had a good day because he's taken his walks, but the swings aren't what you would expect from Julio Rodriguez. 3 walks, a couple runs scored, started 2 rallies for him. 210. He's not going to hit 210 for the entire season. He's too good. He has too much talent. He still has 7 home runs. I think his OPS 673, which is way down for him, right?
I mean, he was one of the main reasons they ended up making the playoffs last year, and there's no reason to believe that'll
It's not going to go. He didn't lose how to play.
Right.
It's just pressure is a different thing. Expectations are a different thing. And I think if you watch his at-bats.
It's on the ground to third. It's Riley across the way.
Yeah, if you watch his at-bats, they still respect him as a player because they're throwing him 3-2 breaking balls, things like that. It's not like people have forgot who he is.
Is sponsored by Allstate, protecting you from mayhem. Little mayhem. 3 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 7th for Seattle. 7-2 Mariners, bottom of the 8th inning, and Justin Topa out of the bullpen, the right-hander out of lovely Binghamton, New York.
Justin Topa has been a find for the Mariners. He's been really good. He had a little bit of a blow-up last night. Gave up 3 runs, but again, another guy that throws 95, 96, and it has a really good slider that he will use to get punch-outs.
Time called at the plate. We have a pitch comm issue with Murphy, maybe. We've had a lot of action at the plate here tonight.
A lot of pitch comm timeout problems.
You know, in your spare time, and I know you have a bunch of it, right? Because you're not playing dad or like flying around doing games or doing the Foul Territory show or anything. I know you have a ton of spare time. Maybe you should become a pitch comm technician.
Well, interestingly, I helped coach a high school baseball team also.
Yep.
And I tried to get pitch comm for the team.
Did you?
And it's illegal in high school baseball.
Really?
To use electronic signs. Yeah. I talked to the guys at PitchCom and said, hey, I'm willing to do this, pay for it.
Yeah.
And they said, and I found out later that it was against the rules in the state of Florida.
Why?
I doubt. Now that I can't answer, but they said cannot use and if you use it, you automatically have to forfeit the game.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so if you're busy one day and you want to just get real quick done with a game, put a couple pitch comms
into the other team.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, they were using it.
All right. Pitch comm's ready to go. 0-1 for Acuna, who checks his swing, and that's called a strike.
Now, before last night, Topa had been incredibly good for him. Hadn't given up a run and
0-2 pitch to Acuna ends up as a single to right.
He'd gone 8 straight scoreless outings, and last night 2 earned runs. Just not a good night, but Acuna is so good. He just gets a sinker down and in and just whoo, pulls his hands in, shoots this ball to right field, and just, man, he just starts so many things for these Braves.
First pitch swing by Olsen here into right field and down off the wall on a hop, and now the Braves are in a little bit of business. Second and third, nobody out.
Matt Olson has been ultra aggressive on first pitches tonight. First inning, first pitch. double. Right here, first pitch, changeup. Rips it into right center for a double. This is deja vu for the Mariners of the first inning, where they scored. The Braves scored their 2 runs. They have second and third, nobody out, and here comes the 3, 4, 5 hitters for them.
It's Murphy, then Riley and Rosario. Topa's actually only allowed runs in 2 outings this year. The one you were talking about last night, in 13 pitches, he gave up 3 runs. And then there was 1 outing back on April the 26th. He didn't get anybody out, gave up 4 hits and 2 earned runs. That's it for his earned runs this year.
He's never going to want to pitch in Atlanta again.
My goodness, no. Line drive, second base. The race is on. Safe the call. Caballero was sprinting back behind Olsen and nearly beat him.
Well, Murphy again smokes this ball. Good positioning by the Mariners, right to him, and great base running by Matt Olson. Your run means absolutely nothing if you're Olsen. He goes back right away and just beats Caballero back to second.
Great look from Brad and our crew. 1 out, 2 on. First pitch. First pitch take there for Austin Riley and a strike.
So remember what I said about Julio and how many breaking balls Julio Rodriguez he got. Austin Riley went through that. When he first came out, they're challenging him with fastballs, homer, homer, homer. Then they started breaking balling him to death. And he was struggling. So then he said, okay, I'm going to figure out how to hit the breaking ball. Well, guess what? He crushes breaking balls now. And the fastball, he struggles a little bit against. So that's how it turns. Because you see so many breaking balls, you forget sometimes, I still got to be able to hit the fastball.
Another breaking ball, and that happens series to series now, right? I mean, it's pretty quick. Guys change their look on you.
Well, as soon as somebody finds out that you can't do this or you can't do that, guess what everyone attacks? Whatever you can't do. So you have to be able to make adjustments on the fly.
One and two for Riley from Topa. Line drive, foul, right field side. And then once you're the guy that can do everything, that's when people start calling you a superstar.
That's when you become Acuna.
Yeah.
Right? Mike Trout, Shohei. Guys like that.
I want it yanked outside. Breaking ball, 2-2 for Riley, who's got 6 multi-hit games in his last 13. He's 1 for 3 today. And man, has he been hot for Atlanta. 2-2. He went after what might have been ball 3, very likely would have been.
Too close. Too close. Too close to take. But to me, that swing tells me he's looking slider. Because usually when you foul a pitch back like that, you're late. A lot of times you're late on it.
Two. Right field side, falling quickly, and a lunging play by Kelenic is out number 2. The Braves do get a run, but Seattle will trade it. It's 7-3. Yes, it's a run, but that's a big out for Topa.
It's a big out, and it was interesting base running. I don't think Acuna tagged. He didn't go back and tag up right away. Because there actually would have been a play at the plate, I think, if Ty France didn't cut that ball. I think Tom Murphy was looking at France going, dude, why'd you cut that? That would have been a play. And Olsen didn't tag up right away. He thought it was a hit. And I don't think Acuna did. I'd love to see the replay of this showing Acuna. Watch Acuna at third. Obviously the camera goes, but I don't think he tagged up right away. If this ball goes through, there's a play at the plate.
Yep.
Now I'm not saying he would have been out. The throw looked like it might have been a little bit offline. You can see Tom Murphy look at Ty France at first and say, dude, let that ball go through.
Chant of Eddie surrounds Topa. And then it's ball 1. Here's a look for you.
See how he hesitates right there, and then by the time Kelnick catches it, he's late. I think the throw would have been a little bit up the line. He probably still would have made it.
Rosario to right. Kelnick is there for out number 3. Braves get a run, nothing more. To the 9th we go. Three Seattle. Mariners trying to break a 3-game losing streak. And Jared Kelnick will go lefty-lefty with A.J. Minter. And Kelnick goes after the first pitch and flares it out on the left-hand side to Rosario. One down, in the MLB app is still the #1 place for live baseball. Real-time highlights and breaking news faster than ever. Now you can follow players to get a home feed personalized just for you. Download the MLB app today. Quickly one out for Minter as Eugenio Suarez bats. He had a big swing back in the 7th, a 2-run homer to add on for Seattle, and he just tried to hit that ball to the Delta sign in left or somewhere.
That ball was smushed.
Oh yeah. 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Braves in the bottom of the 9th as Minter tries to put up a 0. We'll have Albies, Ozuna, and Arcia.
Minter needs a scoreless inning. We just showed his numbers. This guy was so good for the Braves the last few years. And to see him with a 7+ ERA, and we're almost in June, is crazy. This guy's stuff is incredible. 96+ fastball, a filthy cutter, both sides of the plate.
One, 2 outside. I mean, he gave up 10 earned runs in a pocket of 4 outings in April from the 21st to the 27th. So most of his ERA came in a week.
That's what happens to relievers. Just one bad outing, 2 bad outings, it can ruin your whole year.
Strike 3. Good off-speed pitch from Minter there, 2 down.
Good cutter, slider here from Minter. Gets a Suarez out front. Tried to backdoor it almost, it looked like. And see how out front Suarez is, because they have to respect that fastball he throws.
2 down for Hernandez. There's that cutter-ish again for strike number 1.
And that's the pitch. He doesn't throw like a true breaking ball. It's more of a cutter. It's a smaller slider.
It's kind of the original idea behind the slider, right? When it first became in vogue, was that little move to get off the bat?
Yes, and it was meant to have the same arm action, the same motion. You just kind of turn your hand a little bit, and it's small. It's like a micro slider, like, is the best way kind of to describe it. It just doesn't break as much, but it just gets off the barrel.
Two strikes on Hernandez, who just used his 1 timeout. Seeking that outside corner, couldn't do it. 1-2.
That's a changeup. That was a changeup, and to see A.J. Minter throw, he's already thrown a couple in this outing. When you throw 98, rush a fastball in on some of these right-handed hitters, then back foot the slider. That should be his strength.
Ooh, that was really close. He thought he was leaving. That's the type of pitch you're talking about.
That's
right?
the pitch I'm talking about.
Yeah.
'Cause then that opens up the slider to the back foot.
Two and 2. Struck him out. Litke and Minter 6 up, 6 down. The Braves need 4 to tie, 5 to win. They're up 7-3, and let's see if the craft is seaworthy here in the 9th inning. The rain has started here in Atlanta, and it's a race to get 3 outs for Paul Sewald.
Paul Sewald has stepped in and kind of been the closer the last couple years. Him and Munoz Fastball, slider, really only 2 pitches. He's done well. And fastball's actually been the better pitch after the last couple years, the slider being better.
Time called yet again at the plate. Don't worry, the weather's not an issue. First one from Seawald, and a swing and a miss for strike 1 to Ozzie Albies. Two strikes on Albies. Overall in this game, we have seen 26 total strikeouts, 14 by Mariners hitters, 12 by Atlanta hitters.
It's amazing they've struck out 14 times, still have 7 runs.
Oh boy. Whoa.
The rain's coming, Jason. They want to hurry up, make sure they get this 9th inning in.
Yikes. Ozzie, your thoughts? So come on.
It's really all you can say at that point. Just come on. Give me a chance.
When it was raining, were you swinging more often?
No.
You were the guy who was taking everything to see if you could get a rain delay out of it?
No.
Line drive left field. That's a hit. Ozuna 2 for 4, and the Braves still have 2 outs to play with. Now look, you're 2 batters away from the tying run coming to the plate and it being Ronald Acuna Jr.
Yeah, these outs are important. You just don't want him to be the tying run. Or
if you can avoid having him hit at all.
You don't want to face either of those guys as the tying run. You don't want to face the tying run period with a 4-run lead. And you're at the bottom of the order. You're trying to get RC out, trying to get Harris out and go home. Get ready for tomorrow. You start looking at lineups, and that's one of the things when you hit Acuna first, he gets up more often.
Yep.
And you're always looking, when's he up? When's Ronald Acuna up?
And by the way, AJ, to your point about how good he is in that one spot, he's 21 for 41 in the first inning this year. It's over 500 in the first inning. Two and two.
If you're a Mariner fan, you're saying, please don't get the tying run up. If you're the Braves fan, you're like, just figure out a way to get 2 more guys on base. Give us 1 swing at least at hitting a grand slam and tying this game.
Can Arcia and Harris do it? On the ground, third base side. Suarez gets 1. The turn is there. Double play. Seattle turns 2 to win game 2, 7-3.
That was an incredible turn by Caballero at second base. One of the best turns you'll ever see at any time. Quick, accurate, and right on the money as the Mariners do their little dance after the game.
Well, it's been nearly a fortnight since they win. There's 3 straight losses. They get a win here, 7-3. The final score for Seattle, and a much needed win and a breakout offensively too.
A nice game for the Mariners. We mentioned the strikeouts, but they did score 7 runs. The Braves helped them out with 3 errors, but big hits, a big home run by Suarez, some 2-out hits. Kelenic stayed hot. J.P. Crawford had a big hit for him. Julio Rodriguez 3 walks. Nice win for the Mariners, and a nice job by Logan Gilbert as the starting pitcher after the first inning.
Logan Gilbert retired 15 straight at one point to help the Mariners beat Atlanta 7-3. For our entire crew, he's AJ Pierzynski. I'm Jason Benetti. We'll send you to Kevin Burkhardt, Dontrell Willis in Los Angeles next.